Hey Nick, I got your question about what parameters guide those simulation in terms of heat map and traffic patterns. Um, and it asks if there's any of them driven by access and visibility values. Certainly by access, you could put like barriers and dividers, and you can see that I have some in this simulation. Now, obviously, if there's dividers and preferred paths, and you could put some RNs to preferred paths towards maybe a set of exam rooms that are closer to them, then that would be something you could set up with our traffic pattern governance. Um, if you look at this A star network, this is how our traffic patterns are governed. So, for instance, I think on the behavior, there's a default preferred path weight. So if this is a high number, closer to one, then it will, and the RN will try to stick to the preferred path. If it's not, then then it might default to the closest to the treatment area. So I'm sure you can set it up based on, like, I guess in your case, visibility values. Like, can they see these exam tables, or do they have access to those exam tables from this nurse's station? But I'm not exactly sure the best way to set that up. I'm sure it can be done. Um, in terms of like visual, we do have, like I mentioned, we have this heat map, and you could turn that on, and you could define, what sort of heat map colors. What, if it's red, then it's really like a hot, um, like it's where traffic happens all the time. You can, anyways, you run this model, you can watch those heat maps start to kind of take shape. So as I speed this model up, let me step it. You could start to see. Well, let me slow it down so you can see what's happening. You can start to see these heat maps start to appear. So if I run it fast, you can start to see where the traffic patterns are most heavy. Okay. Um, the other thing too that you mentioned about is like on dashboards, for instance, we could do. I could add a dashboard, and when I'm in the dashboard, there's all these palette of choices you can come up with. One of them, I think, is, let's see, staff. Let's see. Oh, here it is, travel distance. So I can drag a travel distance parameter out here. Let me reset this before I mess anything up. So if I grab this travel distance object out, if I double click on it, it'll allow me to add objects. So I have this little, you can add like groups, but you can also just select objects with an eyedropper. So for instance, if I wanted to see the RN walking travel distance, I can go and sample the RNs, and then maybe sample the MDs as well. So let's grab, I want to know the distance traveled by the RNs and the MDs. So if I reset and run that model again, you're going to start to see how far the RNs and the MDs walked through the workday. So you not only can you see where the heavy traffic patterns are with the heat map, you can also see kind of like travel distances. So we have a whole lot of reporting capabilities on that sort of thing. So hopefully that answers some of your questions.